I had worked too hard for that house to feel like a stranger inside it. Every wall carried a memory of struggle late nights, unpaid weekends, and dreams delayed until exhaustion became normal. This house wasn't luxury, it was peace, and peace, for someone like me, was earned the hard way. Family, however, never understood that. My mother believed blood gave unlimited access. My sister, Lena, believed responsibility was something other people carried for her. And I believed foolishly that clear boundaries would protect me from both. Lena had been unemployed for years, not because she couldn't work, but because she never stayed long enough anywhere to learn discipline. Every job ended with excuses. Every failure ended with my mother calling me. "She just needs time," Mom would say. "Be patient. She's sensitive." Sensitive people don't destroy other people's stability, I wanted to say. But I stayed quiet. I always did. I had made my rules very clear. Lena could visit. She could stay a night or two if discussed. But she could not live with me. Not again. Not after the last time ended with unpaid bills and broken trust. My mother had a spare key strictly for emergencies. Medical, fire, real emergencies. I looked her in the eye when I gave it to her. "Please, don't use this unless I say so." She promised. That Thursday evening, I came home earlier than usual. The sky was orange, heavy with the kind of calm that only exists before disaster. As I stepped onto my porch, something felt wrong. The door wasn't locked the way I always locked it. Inside, the air felt different. Then I saw the shoes. Not mine. 2 suitcases leaned against the wall like they belonged there. My heart dropped into my stomach. Slowly, painfully, I walked inside. The living room was rearranged. My couch had been moved. Boxes sat open, spilling clothes and makeup across the floor. The sound of someone humming drifted from the kitchen, too comfortable, too familiar. Lena stepped out holding a mug like she owned the place. "Oh, you're home," she said with a smile. "Mom let me in." That was the moment I understood something terrible. It wasn't just about my sister. The real betrayal had used a key. I didn't yell. I didn't slam doors. I just stood there, staring at Lena like she had erased years of effort with one careless smile. "You're not staying," I said quietly. Her expression changed instantly. The smile faded, replaced by practiced innocence. "Why are you being dramatic? Mom said it's fine. I'll only stay until I figure things out." Those words hit like déjà vu. Until I figure things out. I had heard them before, right before months of chaos. "This isn't your house," I replied. "You didn't ask me." She shrugged and sipped her coffee. My coffee. "You're my brother. Families help each other." I turned away before anger said something unforgivable and dialed my mother. She answered on the first ring, as if she'd been waiting. "What's wrong now?" she asked. "You used the key," I said. "You moved her in without my permission." Silence, then a sigh heavy with judgment. "I did what a mother should do. Your sister has nowhere else to go." "She does," I said. "She just doesn't want responsibility." My mother's voice hardened. "Listen to yourself. Money has made you cold." That accusation hurt more than I expected. Money hadn't changed me. Survival had. I remembered nights Lena borrowed from me and never returned a cent. The job interviews she skipped, the rent she promised to pay and never did. I said no. I reminded her. "That should matter. It shouldn't when family needs you," she snapped. "What will people say if they find out you threw your own sister out?" There it was. Fear, guilt, control. When I hung up, Lena was already unpacking. She had hung clothes in my guest room closet like she'd signed a lease. Her phone buzzed constantly as she laughed with friends, telling them she'd finally settled. By evening, my fridge was emptier. My trash was fuller. My home felt smaller. I tried again. "You need to leave by tomorrow." Her eyes filled with tears instantly. Perfect timing. "I knew you never cared about me." She cried loudly, loud enough for the neighbors to hear. "Mom was right. You've always thought you were better than me." The words stabbed deep because they were designed to. Texts started coming in before midnight. Cousins, aunts, even an uncle I hadn't spoken to in years. "How could you be so heartless? That's your blood. God is watching." I lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling, realizing something painful. Sometimes, the people who know you best also know exactly how to break you. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound in the house felt louder than it should have. Lena's footsteps, her laughter on the phone at 2 a.m., the refrigerator opening again and again, like a reminder that nothing here belonged to me anymore, not even my peace. By morning, I was exhausted and hollow. She woke up late, walked into the kitchen like it was hers, and asked, "What's for breakfast?" That was it. Something inside me snapped. Not loudly, not violently, but cleanly, like a thread finally tearing after being pulled too long. "You need to leave," I said, my voice steady despite the chaos inside me. "Now," she laughed, "relax, you're acting crazy." I called my mother again. I needed her to fix what she had broken. Instead, she blamed me. "Why are you humiliating your sister?" she yelled. "Do you want the whole family to know you're heartless?" I looked at Lena, sprawled on my couch, scrolling through her phone while my mother defended her behavior. In that moment, I understood I was alone. I hung up. My hands were shaking when I picked up my phone again. I stared at the screen for a long time before dialing 3 numbers I never imagined I'd use against my own blood. My voice cracked as I explained: unauthorized entry, refusal to leave, misuse of a spare key. Every word felt like betrayal, even though I was the one being betrayed. The officers arrived within minutes, the house filled with authority and cold reality. Lena screamed as soon as she saw them. "How could you do this to me?" she cried, pointing at me like I was a criminal. "He's lying." My mother arrived soon after, breathless and furious. She didn't ask what happened. She didn't ask how I felt. She looked at me and said, "You've destroyed this family." The officers separated us. They asked for proof of ownership. I showed documents, utilities, ID, facts. Facts don't care about guilt. Lena refused to leave until they escorted her out. She kicked one of the boxes on her way, spilling her clothes across my lawn like evidence of a life that didn't belong to me. Neighbors watched, curtains moved, whispers started. When the door finally closed, the silence was unbearable. I slid down against the wall and cried harder than I ever had, not because I regretted my decision, but because choosing myself had cost me everything. Or so I thought. The house was quiet again, but the silence felt different now, heavier, like peace that hadn't decided whether it would stay. For 2 days my phone didn't ring, no messages, no accusations. The family group chat went silent, as if everyone had agreed that I no longer existed. I expected the loneliness to break me. Instead, it gave me space to breathe. On the 3rd morning, my mother called. Her voice wasn't angry, it wasn't sharp, it sounded tired. "Your sister isn't with me," she said slowly. I didn't respond. "She went to stay with your aunt. I thought things would calm down." My mother paused. They didn't. Lena had arrived there with the same entitlement, the same excuses. She refused to help. She refused to look for work. When my aunt asked her to contribute, Lena exploded yelling, breaking a lamp, accusing everyone of being against her. The police were called again. This time I wasn't the villain. She was arrested for the night. My mother whispered, "Your aunt won't take her back." I closed my eyes, not out of satisfaction, but understanding. The problem had never been me. I didn't know how bad it was. My mother said quietly, "I thought love meant protecting her. Love also means boundaries." I replied. That afternoon she came over. She stood at my door, holding the spare key, the same one that had destroyed our trust. She placed it in my hand. "I'm sorry," she said. "No drama, no excuses." I nodded. That was all I could manage. After she left, I changed the locks, not out of anger, out of growth. Weeks passed. The gossip faded. The silence softened. My house became mine again. Slowly, the air felt lighter. Then a message appeared on my phone. It was Lena. "I'm in therapy. I got a part-time job. I know I hurt you. I'm sorry." I stared at the screen for a long time. Revenge would have been blocking her. Victory would have been rubbing her failure in her face. But peace was something else. I replied with one sentence. "I hope you keep going." I didn't invite her back. I didn't reopen old doors. Some bridges are meant to stay burned not out of hatred, but to prevent another fire. And in choosing myself, I learned the sweetest truth of all. Standing up for your life doesn't make you cruel. It makes you free.